What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to fix a hole in the wall or ceiling. Let's do this. So the first thing we need to do is measure up the current size of the hole that we've got here. Just roughly, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. So we've got here about 60 centimeters or 70 centimeters. We'll just go up one, 70 centimeters and 60 on one side. So we've got 70 and 60. Next thing we want to do is grab a little off piece of drywall, plasterboard or sheetrock, whatever it is that you want to call it, and we want to transfer those measurements onto here. So like I said, just transfer the measurements over onto the drywall. It doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't really matter where we're going to cut this off, as long as the piece that we're cutting here is bigger than the size of the hole. So if we go here 70, put a line down along there. Like I said, once again, it doesn't matter, even if it's a little bit off, it won't matter. So here we've got 70 and 70, it really doesn't matter whatsoever, as long as it's a little bit bigger than the hole itself. What we want to do then is cut this piece of drywall off. We can snap that. Once again, and now we've got our filler piece ready to go. So the next thing we want to do is you want to get the new piece of drywall that we've got, put it over the hole that we've got over here, and then you just simply want to trace it. So as long as we've got this damaged section here covered, we want to trace that around the edges using a pencil. And now we've got our new section that needs to be cut out. So when it comes time to cut out the old drywall, what you can use is a gyprock saw or a plasterboard saw. You can use your multi-tool, or in my case, I'm just going to be using the utility knife in case you guys don't have those tools at home. So all you want to do is just trace those lines all the way around. Once we've gone all the way around, we're going to make a little diagonal section going from each point. And then we should be able to just tap these in. And then we can plane all this excess off using the blade once again. So once we've got our new piece of drywall cut out, we can see there that that fits perfectly into place. The next thing we want to do is just put some backing support on the back of this. The way we do that is by using some off-cut pieces of trim. So we've got here an old piece of trim that I've got left at home. What we're going to do is we're going to measure this up and we're going to have this cut at 2 pieces so that we can stick this at the back of the wall. So at the moment, like I said, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, as long as we're going a little bit above, a little bit below. So if we go around here somewhere, we'll flip this over once again around here. So if I cut these 2 pieces here off, they're going to be my 2 backing supports. So now that we've got our 2 backing pieces ready to go, the next thing we want to do is slot them in the back, and then we want to use just a standard screw, and we want to put that in place. So get your screw ready, slot that over. When you screw, just make sure that it becomes recessed just a little bit. We don't want that protruding up on top. So make sure you drive that in just a little bit, just like that. Once again, we'll put it on the bottom. Hold it from the back just to give it that bit of extra support while you drive that screw in. We can do the same on the other side. This one here, this hole's a little bit smaller than I usually do this technique for. That's why it's just a little bit harder to hold it into place. The bigger the hole, the easier this process will be. So once again, now that we've got that in place, we can slot our filler piece in. Once again, put another screw straight through here and the back support panel.
from here into the back support.
As long as we've got that now nice and secure, everything's nice and flush, the next thing we want to do is get started on our plastering. So the next thing we need to do is to fill in this section here, and what I like to do is use some mesh tape. Now a lot of people have a big debate with regards to mesh tape versus paper tape. I personally prefer the mesh tape, it's a lot easier to work with. So rather than putting on the mesh tape first and then trying to put some compound straight through that, what I like to do, we'll just give this a quick scrape, make sure it's all nice and flush. What I like to do is just work some of that compound straight into these cracks before I actually apply the tape. So making sure, get a bit of that on the knife. Just want to work this through, make sure there's no lumps in there. Once we're ready, we can now fill in these cracks. The only thing we're looking at doing right now is simply filling in these cracks. So we want to get it nice and flush, drive all that material straight through that crack. And right now, that's enough for this process right now. Another reason why I like the mesh tape is one side has a sticky adhesive, so that means it works a bit better on applying it to the wall, especially when you don't have any compound there to help it stick into place. So all you want to do, run that over the joint. Want to cut that off down the bottom, press that down firmly. Now because this one here is a smaller hole, we're not going to actually have the lines going along the horizontal sections here. We're just going to go along the vertical lines. Try bring that in nice and tight. And once again, press that into place. Now that we've got our mesh tape in there, we can actually get our compound through that mesh, being very careful when you first start to apply it, just to prevent that mesh from moving around. So we just want to secure it by going around the edges slowly. And then you can spread that over the top like that. And you can see now that that mesh is not moving anywhere. Now, depending on how many coats you want to have applied to your wall, you can put a bit more compound on there, spread it out, get it feathered out, and then just wait for that to set. It will take a lot longer to set. However, what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to leave it nice and thin, just like this. I've got another job I'm going to head off to, and then when I come back in about 2 to 3 hours, they should hopefully be a little bit more dry, and I'll be able to get ready onto my next coat. Alright guys, so the area is now nice and dry, ready to be sanded. What we're using is 120 grit sandpaper. I'm just using a regular hand pad. It's a little bit larger and flatter, which helps you get that a lot smoother. So we're just going to give this a nice quick sand. Mainly trying to concentrate around the edges, we just want to feather that in. Once that's done, we're now ready for our second coat. So this time around, we're just going to try and feather that out a bit more than it was last time, and we'll go a little bit thicker as well. Once again, just taking out any of those lumpy sections out of the mix. And we just want to slowly feather that out. You can see there we've still got a couple of lumpy sections. And just smooth that over. Once we're done, we'll just let this here set off. If we like, we might need to sand this again. Actually, no, this will be fine. So 2 coats is generally what I find is enough to get you away with being able to cover that section. So we'll just speed up the process this time around rather than waiting around for this to dry off. What we're going to use is a heat gun, and I'm going to show you guys how to speed up the drying process. Alright guys, so what we're using is just a standard heat gun. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply heat to the area. That way we'll allow this to dry a lot quicker. Making sure when using the heat gun, you don't want to concentrate too much on one spot, just working that around in a circular motion. That will allow this to dry 100% perfect really, really fast. Rather than waiting about 3 hours for this to dry, we're going to be able to finish it in probably about 5 to 10 minutes. So you can see here on the edge, the color of the compound is brown. The way you'll know if this is dry is when it turns white. So once we use the heat gun on this side here, you'll see how quickly this will turn white. And you can see there that's completely starting to turn white. And we're just going to work around this whole area. And 5 minutes later, this section is now dried and ready to be sanded once again. So once again, we're using our 120 grit. If you really find that you're getting some coarse lines through your patchwork, you might want to jump up to a 180 or a 240, but the 120 seems to be working fine for me right now. So once again, we're going to give this a nice quick sand. There's not much imperfections on here that we need to fix, so just a quick sand over the top. So as you can tell there guys, that is now the finished product. It is perfect, 100% smooth. The only thing you need to make sure of after finishing sanding is that you get a wet paper towel or a wet cloth and you want to wipe the area. Just make sure you get rid of any of that excess dust before you actually get started in priming. So when it comes to priming, we're going to be using the British paints. This is a 4-in-1 primer, and all we're going to be doing is just using the brush to apply the primer. Very important step. If you miss applying the primer before putting on the paint, it'll end up bubbling and peeling later on down the track. So just using the brush, we just want to get that on there. Making sure to feather out the edges and make sure that that'll blend in with the roll once we get the actual paint color on there. So just go nice and light on the edges. And once that dries, we'll be ready to get started on painting. And once you've completed painting guys, this is the finished product. So as you can tell, no more hole. You can't even tell where the hole was anymore. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Billshowto.